Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to tackle the very first step in learning any new language, and honestly the most important one, the alphabet. We are going to completely demystify the German alphabet, and I promise by the end of this, you'll have the key to unlock the entire language. So let's dive right in.
You know this quote? It absolutely nails what we're doing today. Think of the German alphabet not just as a list of letters you have to memorize, but as a puzzle. And right now we're going to hand you each and every piece and show you exactly how they click together to create that bigger picture.
All right, so how do these pieces fit together? Well, that's what we're here for. We're going to walk through how each letter sounds. We'll uncover those special characters that make German, well, German, and we'll give you the tools to say them with real confidence.
So let's start on what feels like familiar ground, right? The 26 letters that look exactly like the ones we use in English. But, and this is a big but, don't let their shapes fool you. This is where our puzzle starts to get interesting.
Yep, that's the thing. While the letters look familiar, the real secret to unlock in German is getting their unique sounds down. Now, we're not going to go through all 26, but let's zoom in on a few of the big ones that always seem to catch people by surprise.
First up, the letter J. In English, it's that hard J sound, but in German, it's a much softer yt. The best way to think about it is to imagine the Y sound in words like yes or yellow. That's the sound you're going for.
Okay, next we have the V. And trust me, this is a classic stumbling block. In German, it's not V, it's V. It actually makes an F sound, like in the word fast. The perfect example is Volkswagen. It's not Volkswagen, it's Volkswagen, which, funny enough, leads us right to the next letter.
And this is where your brain might do a little flip-flop. The W and V sounds basically swap places from English. The German W, which is called V, is pronounced exactly like an English V. So going back to our example, in Volkswagen, it's the W that makes that V sound. Volkswagen. Kinda cool, right?
And to round out this group, we've got the letter Z. So forget that soft buzzing Z or Z. In German, it's a really sharp, crisp Z. Just think of the sound at the very end of the word cats. That's the punchy sound you want to make. Okay, so we've handled the familiar letters with their sneaky new sounds. Now it's time to introduce the really special pieces of our puzzle, the 4 characters you'll only find in the German alphabet.
And here they are in all their glory. You've got 3 vowels with an umlaut. That's what those 2 little dots are called. And then you had this very unique consonant known as the SZ, which has that really memorable shape, almost like a fancy letter B.
So, what's the deal with those 2 dots? Well, an umlaut is basically a signpost telling you that the vowel sound is going to change, or mutate. The ah sound softens up to sound more like the A in bed. The O and U are really fun. You actually have to round your lips to make them, creating these brand new sounds that are just distinctly German.
And then there's this guy, the sharp. Its official name is SZ, but I actually prefer its other name, scharfes S, which means sharp S. And honestly, that tells you everything you need to know. It's just a sharp, hissing S sound, like in the word hiss.
So we've got all the pieces laid out on the table, but how do you actually start putting them together with confidence? Let's talk strategy. Here are a couple of pro tips that'll help you really master the game of German pronunciation.
It really boils down to 2 key things. First, you've got to get a handle on those tricky consonant sounds. And second, you need to learn to hear and make the difference between long and short vowel sounds. Let's break those down.
When we talk about consonants, you really want to zero in on the sounds for s, sus, and that sharp Z that's set. These 3 are probably responsible for the most confusion. If you deliberately practice them, you'll be way ahead of the curve, and you'll avoid some of the most common beginner mistakes. Now for the vowels. Here's a fantastic little exercise. Just say common German names out loud. It's a great way to practice the difference between long and short sounds. Go ahead, give these a shot. Bayer, Hartmann, Schmidt, and Muller. Can you hear those subtle differences in how long the vowel is? This is such good real-world practice.
Okay, so you're practicing, but what happens in real life? What if you're on a crackly phone line trying to spell your name? How do native German speakers make absolutely sure they're understood every single time?
Well, they have an absolutely brilliant tool for this. It's called the German Spelling Alphabet, or Buchstabiertafel. It's a simple system where every single letter has a specific name assigned to it, which completely eliminates any confusion and guarantees you're understood.
And here's exactly how it works. It's super simple. If you want to spell the letter A, you'd say A wie Anton, which just means A as in Anton. For B, it's B wie Bertha.
It's such a straightforward, elegant solution to make sure communication is crystal clear. And just like that, we have come full circle. We've looked at every single piece of the puzzle, from the ones that seemed familiar to the ones that were totally unique. And now you have the complete picture. You've solved it. So let's just quickly recap the awesome new toolkit you have. You can now recognize the 26 letters and their unique German sounds. You've been introduced to the 4 special characters that really define the language. And you have real, practical tips to start improving your pronunciation today.
And look, this isn't just some trivia. Mastering the alphabet is the absolute bedrock of speaking and understanding German. Every single word, every sentence, every conversation, it's all built from these very pieces that you now have in your hands.
And that brings us to our final question. And this one's for you. You now have the fundamental building blocks of an entire language. All the puzzle pieces are right there in front of you. The only question left is, what are you going to build?